Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Soul Calibur 3 Arcade Edition on the Namco 246 arcade hardware. This game was released back in 2005 and actually made it on the market after the home version of Soul Calibur 3, so it actually featured revisions that you didn't see in any of the home versions, even like the USA, Japanese, or the European version. So it actually did have a couple things that were added here and there. Basically what you see here is just like in my new pickups video a couple videos back, is the System 246 was booting at this point, and the screen itself flickers a few times, because normally what would happen is the System 246 would display a loading the software screen, but since this is running on a monitor that doesn't support 15 kilohertz, it's not going to show that, because of course a standard PC monitor, which I'm displaying this on my 27-inch LED, doesn't support 60 hertz. But as you can see here, there is Legend, Standard, and Training mode. Legend mode, what I'm going to show you here first, is a mode where you get to select any of the characters from the game, and you basically play through 8 stages, earning experience which gains you levels through each stage. And you're able to increase stats like vitality, luck, strength, and dexterity. Right now I'm going to select Seigfried here, since I never made a Legends character, and I'm going to select Seigfried as the character I'm actually going to fight. And now the way this works is, if you are to beat the Legends character of your specific character, meaning at the very end here, if I defeat the Seigfried Legend character, my character becomes the current Legend character for Seigfried. And if this were on location, and of course instead of being in my house, then the next person who plays the Seigfried in Legend mode can then challenge my character at whatever level he ends up being, and see if they can dethrone him and become the Legend. And of course the Legend character you decide to challenge, if it's not your character, you get to level them up or level them down. And now this is just showing you how to add and remove points from the Legends characters. Nothing really all that amazing. You'll see here the strength, dexterity, vitality, and luck. And you'll see on the right side there, as you add points to each level, it actually increases certain stats. And now this character here you're going to see is one of the bonus characters from the PlayStation 3 version of Soul Calibur 3 that actually became a full-fledged character in the arcade version. The characters who actually were added in this fashion were Hwang, which I don't know why they say Hwang, it just sounds like they kind of butcher the name, as in Soul Calibur said the announcer always said Hwang Sol Yun, he didn't say Hwang. Strangely enough, you'll see there I actually lost. But the way that this works is similar to Conquest mode. You gain experience and levels regardless if you win. So you do 8 battles for your coin no matter what. But also saying, you have Li Long here. We had Hwang, or Hwang as they call him in this, and Amy. Those are your 3 returning characters, the bonus characters from the PS2 version that made it as full-fledged characters. And if you're wondering, the big differences between Maxi and Li Long is Li Long uses dual nunchucks, and his nunchucks actually have points on the ends, which makes them a little bit stronger. What I was trying to do here is make a fairly balanced character, as you can make the character leaning toward any attribute, just like you could in Soul Calibur 2 Arcade Edition, which that was the Conquest mode. And one thing I definitely have to admit, it's probably not too visible considering this was actually filmed with my camera, But the graphics in this game, especially because it's running in VGA mode, and that's like 31 kilohertz, 640 by 480, look really sharp. I would say even sharper than a PlayStation 2 displaying this in 480p. It could be that the System 246 has just slightly better hardware. The only other thing that would make this game look a little bit sharper is the System 256, which is the upgraded version of the hardware, runs something called System 246 Plus mode, which allows you to make this game look even a little bit better because it has stronger hardware. Now this is my first Legend character I made. I'd called her Game Master, not realizing this wasn't like some sort of high score thing or something. So like all this time, like since getting this hardware, I'd been trying to level her down enough so I could actually get a character and like name her something more fitting. But it just seemed like no matter what I did, I kept losing to this character. So you notice she's down to level 30. Originally, I believe she was up to like level 60 something, and every time I fought her, she would just beat me so easily. So, most likely the next time I try Legends mode as Seigfried, I'll have a new Legends character. And now you'll notice Seigfried's level is going to go up here, so I have 11 points to distribute. But at the end here, it's going to tell me what I want to do with Game Master, the current Legends character, which, as I mentioned, is very good. So let's say you have a favorite character and you want them to become a Legends character, but the current Legends character is a little bit too strong for you to basically win a mirror match. So you can then face them with somebody else that you might be better at with in a non-mirror match, and then weaken them a little bit, and then come back later with that said character and make your Legends character. And of course, if you're not really familiar with Soul Calibur 3 at all, the new characters for this game are Zosalamel, who uses the scythe. I'm not sure if I fight him in any of this gameplay at all. Then there is Setsuka, who wields a sword that's like in a umbrella. Tira, of course, who wields the ring blade. Then there's also Dan, who is your like Edgemaster, charade, Inferno type character. Well, Soul Calibur 1 Inferno. And then we have Abyss, who is kind of like your Soul Edge, or even Nightmare character, who's basically, you take one character and they're kind of a mutated version of that character. So basically Abyss was a mutated version of Zosalamel. He's just like kind of the super ultimate evil version. And then finally returning from, I believe it was actually in one of the single player modes, is Night Terror. And there's another match that I actually had lost, but I still gained points and maybe even a level if I made it. No, actually no level. But if you hear any of that weird like slowdown, I believe it actually was my camera, because when I recorded this, I don't remember it slowing down like that. But Night Terror is like a crazy mutated version of a nightmare, really big with wings. But now you see, whenever you face the Legends character, as it was earlier with Seigfried, they kind of have this like aura going on. And you'll see right there, since I knocked him out of the ring really quickly, I won. So now this character will become the current Seigfried Legends character. I have to admit, he's not my best. My best was like level 97, which was a Cervantes character, who's the current top Legends character, and I called him Vortex. I just thought it was a cool sounding name. And you'll see here's all your achievements and everything. There's the final balance of the attributes. It only does congratulations if you beat the Legends character and become the Legends character, so you'll only see that bit. And the reason here that I'm actually naming him Cloud is I remember the first time I played Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, when I saw Seigfried and he wielded this giant sword, I was thinking, Oh wow, that character really makes me think of Cloud, because I'd played Final Fantasy VII not too long before actually playing this for the first time. So, I was like, yeah, that ginormous sword that guy has reminds me a lot of Cloud, so that's why I figured I'd name the Legends character Cloud. And you'll see, here are some of the characters. The only sad part about this is, even though it came with the memory card, when I bought it in the auction, it didn't actually have any user data, so these are all the default characters, hence why they're all level 50. Except for the ones on the top, which are mine, and they're higher level. I think one of the characters, the Amy Legend, I actually leveled up. So if you'll see here in a minute here, 9 MA POI, she's level 60 because I leveled her up. Then there's Edgemaster and Vortex, and then there was the Hwang character, which I named Chai. Or Shy, however you want to say it. Now for the second half of this video, I'm going to do a standard mode. Which, the way standard mode works is there are 9 stages, 7 standard character stages, followed by Soul Calibur 3 Arcade Edition's version of Inferno, who I would say is more close to Soul Edge from Soul Edge / Soul Blade, however you want to call it, where he just uses an augmented Cervantes style. And he has, like, instead of being a solid body like he was in some of the Soul Calibur costumes, he's kind of just like flames with bones, kind of in Soul Calibur 2 when he faced him. And then in the final stage, stage 9, the final boss depends on how quickly you get up to the Inferno stage. From playing this game, this is what I have gathered. If this is any different at any point, if I ever figure any different, I will add a comment into the comment section, maybe the description section down below. Or, of course, if you're watching this years from now and they changed where the description section is, it could be any side of the video by now. But, the way that I figured it works is if you get up to the Inferno stage in less than 5 minutes, you face Night Terror. If it takes anywhere between 5 minutes and 1 second to 8 minutes, you face Abyss. If it takes 8 minutes and 1 second or more, you face the top Legends character. So you, in this case, you would face my Cervantes character, Vortex. So as far as I can tell, that's how it works. And it doesn't seem to matter if you win or lose, it's just how fast you go. So in essence, standard mode is kind of like arcade mode / time attack, with that whole boss thing in respect. And of course, if you didn't notice earlier, I'd mentioned that Hwang, as they call him, or Hwang, if you wanna call him as they called him in the original Soul Calibur, was one of the expanded bonus characters who's brought back for the arcade version to flesh out this a little bit better. And I definitely have to say, I love his fighting style. Of the 3 returning bonus characters, I definitely have to say Hwang is a bit better than the other 2. Li Long is a really good character, as you saw earlier in the Legends mode, but my only problem is he's very close range, and if you face a character like Astaroth or anybody who has like distance attacks where they can really do a good reach, you're kind of really easily outclassed if you're not quick to really come close to them, whereas someone like Maxi even has like some further away attacks. Amy is, in my opinion, a very acquired taste like Raphael. She's kind of like Raphael, but a bit faster. And of course, another thing, if I had not mentioned it earlier, that was improved in this game, other than the Legends mode and the 3 added characters, was the all the movesets in this game have been greatly balanced. So it helps a very lot with a lot of the unbalances with the PlayStation 3 version. So it just feels like you're on a more even playing ground with a lot of the characters. And one of the things I always like that Raphael said in the Soul Calibur 2 is I always liked how he's like, "Shall we dance?"
Get out of the way. Sink unto oblivion.
I definitely have to say, until you actually watch this gameplay, it's hard to really notice it when you play. You don't really notice all the detail in these stages, even though this was running on PlayStation 2 hardware. But like the ocean going and all the islands around it. When you're playing this game, and I can honestly say from my personal experience, I'm rather short-sighted because I'm just watching my opponent, not what's in the background. But I can honestly say everything just looks great in all these levels, all like the 3D effects. And another thing they had added was there are actually more recolors of your costumes. So now you have a total of 3 colors per costume, making a total of 6 different choices. Of course, since this is an arcade version, there's no creation mode and there's no customization mode, because you really couldn't do that in a arcade version like this.
Let's go. She raises her swords.
And I can say when I really first started playing these arcade versions, since both my games are the American versions and they have the English voices, that the English voice acting really grated on me, and it really just bothered me a lot at first. But after a while, I can honestly say it's grown on me a little bit, and I don't find it nearly as annoying. Although I can still say that when Hwang loses in Soul Calibur 2 and she like makes some of the weird sounds she does, it still annoys me and I still can't stand it.
You will not be forgotten. Battle 2. Fight. Where are you going?
And you'll notice that Hwang there actually has a lot more lines than he had in the PlayStation 3 version. One thing I find absolutely the strangest thing in the world is Amy, other than her grunts and the noises she makes when she fights, has no dialogue at all. Although, don't get me wrong, she didn't have much on PlayStation 2. The only thing I believe she ever said is sometimes when you selected her, she was just like, Amy. But now in this version, she doesn't even say that.
Battle 1. Fight. Where are you going?
Now that move that Hwang does here when he goes, "Where are you going?" When that misses, that's one of those moves that just like when you try to do a throw, but either they get out of it or that you completely miss them. It's just one of those moves that you're left completely open and your enemy can really press their advantage. And I don't know if I had ever mentioned this in any video I'd ever done before, which I may have if I covered any of the Tekken games. But the first time I saw Yoshimitsu was like, I believe it was actually Tekken 3, because I never really got much into that series until I had actually played a Tekken 3 demo that came with my PlayStation, because I was a bit late to the party. But when I first saw Yoshimitsu, I can honestly say I thought he was an alien, because it was the Yoshimitsu wearing that almost mushroom-looking helmet. So I thought he was an alien, didn't realize he was really just wearing a helmet. So I didn't see the earlier versions of Yoshimitsu in Tekken 2 and Tekken 3.
The evil force grows ever more hungry for souls.
Now shortly after the intros to the 2 characters here, you're going to see a quick jump cut, because what I did to make this video a little bit shorter was to cut all the losses to Nightmare and Abyss out, because honestly they added another like 5 minutes to the video, and this video is already going to be like over like 25 minutes ish as it is, so I figured just cut it down a bit. But basically I think I lost to Nightmare maybe once or twice, and then Abyss I know I lost at least once. So there's a spoiler already. I know you may notice already that I'm past 5 minutes, so I didn't pass 8 minutes defeating Nightmare, so of course I got Abyss as my final boss.
versus Inferno.
A lot of the characters I was not too good at. Like some of the characters I was trying for the first time. I think when I tried Amy and Li Long, I got the legend character because I didn't do it fast enough. And there you'll notice that I like how Inferno looks in this. He has that he's made up of like plumes of fire type look, almost Rayman like, where not everything of him is connected. I just like how he really looks in this game. It just looks really cool. And that's another thing you'll notice in a lot of the levels. I don't know if it's just that this version looks so good, but there's so much like dynamic lighting, because you'll notice even the light coming off of Inferno just looks really good. And it lights up on Hwang's face and everything. Hwang's face. Either way. And that's how I was mentioning earlier that Inferno just uses a tweaked Cervantes moveset. He doesn't randomly imitate characters like he did in other versions of Soul Calibur.
Gaining unimaginable power, a man who has transcended humanity.
And now, as I said, if you hadn't played this is basically Zosalamel, who is the character that you saw in my new pickups video in the beginning. But he's like an evil mutated version. And of course, as I was mentioning, there's my jump cut, so it only shows the final version fighting, because you'll notice it went up to 17 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, one thing I can definitely say about Abyss in the PlayStation 2 version, is he can be so hard that he feels broken at some point. So, he's just one of those characters that gets very annoying when you're fighting him. But after a while, you kind of get the hang of him, kind of like Alpha 152 in Dead or Alive 4. But I definitely have to say, of all things, Soul Calibur 3 Arcade Edition is an excellent version of this game. If you're a big fan of the Soul Calibur series like me, and you're considered getting in a Namco System 246 arcade system, I'd highly recommend picking up this game. It's not too common, but it's a very good game. And it is really worth getting, and I can honestly say, in my opinion, it's worth getting this hardware just for this game. Now, I know some people have actually modded the PlayStation 2 version to include some of the features of this, but I'd rather just have the full arcade version that fully works and doesn't have any hiccups here or there like their mods might. And the weird part is, no matter what character is your boss, they always die like that, so it always seems weird when the Legends character explodes. But now I'm going to let you see the whole credits from the arcade edition in case they're different from the home version. And then you'll see me ranking at the end and see all my characters. The top ranking actually was a Hwang playthrough, in fact my first, where I actually faced Night Terror. I'm only sad that I didn't record that, because it seems pretty hard to get Night Terror, because you have to do it in less than 5 minutes up to Inferno. But I will see you later in my next video. And, later.
legend will never die. Namco